to the channel. This is Bobcomss speaking. And today we've got another 2 versus 2 from the Blood for Khaine tournament that was hosted by Viking Cat this weekend. Today we're looking at a matchup between SugarDavie and DracoKnight versus Slay All Day and Menague. We've got SugarDavie playing as High Elves and DracoKnight playing as Dwarves, and Slay All Day playing as the Dark Elves and Menague playing as Skaven. And you see here, so we've got the blue team, which is SugarDavie and DracoKnight, and we've got red team, which is Slay All Day and Menague. So let's run through the army comp real quick. So let's start off the High Elves. We've got 4 units of archers, 3 units of spear, 1 on each flank and 1 in the centre, a Mage of Light with the net of Amatok, 2 sword masters of Hoth, a prince on a star dragon, and a unit of dragon princes on the left flank in hidden trees. For the dwarf player, we've got a Khaine with the Tormentor sword. We have a unit of miners backing up the Goblobber Grudge Thrower, which is the Regiment of Renowned unit. We also have a unit of organ guns backed up by Dragonback Slayers. For the front line, we've got a Rune Lord on his mount. We have a Rune Smith and a Grumbling Guard in the centre. And for the front line, we have Dwarf Warriors and Longbeard mix. So we've got 3 Dwarf Warriors and 3 Longbeards. So if we move on to the Dark Elf player, we've got a unit of Dark Riders on their left flank. We've got a unit of 2 units of Witch Elves, a unit of Blackguard and Dangarond. We've got a Dreadlord on a Black Dragon, with a Sorceress of Shadows on a Hellsteed. And then he has a front line of 3 units of Harganath Executioners and 1 unit of Black Ark Corsairs. These guys are freaking awesome, by the way. If you can just appreciate these guys. Look how awesome they look with their red capes and their like death masks. Freaking awesome unit. Don't see him enough in my opinion. And then he also has another unit of Dark Riders, the Repeater Crossbow in the trees. And the Skaven player, an interesting build. He's gone for 3 units of Plague Claw Catapult. So these are very interesting, as I said. They're very inaccurate, but in large numbers you can see how much damage they will do. He's gone for 3 units of Skaven Slave Spears, protecting their rear. And he's got Skaven Slaves 2 in the middle. And then he's got a front line of Plague Monks and Plague Monk Censer Bearers, 2 of each, with Lord Skrolk and an Assassin. And then in the tree line, we've got some Skaven Slave Slingers, 3 of them, and 2 units of Rat Ogres. So let's go ahead and get this started. It starts off with just a artillery barrage. So we've got the organ guns and the Goblobber at the rear of the blue team's army. You can see here now we've got the artillery coming in. It's going to start hitting these dwarf warriors. They targeted the prince straight away. See, both teams are set up defensively, so one of them has to attack. And as you can see, the dwarves are going to start to move because they have more artillery and they've got the longer range artillery. These only have the rock lobber. The organ gun only has a range. You can see, I think this is the organ gun's range here. The Dark Elf player is moving unit Dark Rider Repeater Crossbow round to the rear, but the High Elf player, which is SugarDavie, is sent some archers over to shut them down. He's got the dragon in support. Some nice micro there from the Dark Elf player. Getting mixed up here between all the elves. Waiting for you. Not so good micro in that time. It's taking a lot of damage there. If you can micro these and move them around when they shoot, especially at range, you can make them waste a lot of ammo. But right now they're just not doing anything. They're just getting shot at. So a slight waste. The main engagement hasn't happened yet. Everyone's still moving up. You can see the Plague Claw catapults are hitting these Grumbling Guard, which is the Regiment of Renowned unit. So they're down to 3/4 health already. And they've lost 16 units. And you can see here the Star Dragon caught a charge from the Dark Riders. You can see here we've got the Black Dragon, Dreadlord, and the Sorcerer moving up on the right flank as well. So here comes the initial charge. So we've got the Swordmasters of Hoth coming in now. Oh Jesus, got the organ guns, some friendly fire there, unfortunate. So Swordmasters of Hoth coming up against Plague Monks. These are Censer Bearers, yeah. So the Censer Bearers will lose one-on-one against the Swordmasters of Hoth, but backed up with Lord Skrulk and an assassin in here. And they're also summoning Skaven Slave summons there. There's some more friendly fire there by the organ gun. So we've got the Mage of Light dropping some spells here. If we move over to the left flank, we've got the Rat Ogres have been netted and managed to get caught by a Spearman. So it's a very unfortunate net by to the Skaven player. He has got his 3 units of Skaven Slave Slingers moving up, but they're not particularly great against armour. And they won't do much against anything really that they've fought here. So we had a nice flanking manoeuvre as well from the Dark Elf player. Managed to get round on this right flank, completely bypassing this Longbeard unit with a Blackguard of Nagron unit. Should have intercepted these Dragonback Slayers, but unfortunately didn't. So these archers here are going to start getting slaughtered very, very quickly. Again, if we go into a bit soon, we can watch a bit of archers getting slayed for a little while. And the Murderous Prowess is now dropped for the Dark Elves. So unfortunate for the blue team, this means the Dark Elves are going to be a lot better in combat. You see the Dragonback Slayers now charging in to take on another unit of... Are these are these other executions as well? Yeah. And they've actually had the out of control ability dropped onto them. A breath spell there by the Star Dragon, which has really helped out taking out the Blackguard Nagron. The archers have moved away. Unfortunately their right flank has broken. As for the left flank, the Dragon Princes have now joined the battle and taken out the last of the Rat Ogres. The middle is more just a slog at the moment. There are a few units here not doing anything, but they are starting to move out. Lord Skrulk is currently fighting the Rune Lord. It looks like he's going to win. The Rune Lord's about to drop here against Lord Skrulk. And the Assassins, not a great fight here for the Rune Lord. Looks like there's a rout there by the Rune Lord. There we go, he's away. Routing towards the enemy army, that's always a good idea. So now we've got the Runesmith getting in, but they're moving away. So always a good choice to bring Lord Skrulk and an Assassin together. So he kind of acts like a bodyguard. Because Lord Skrulk is a sorcerer in the end. Or wizard, shall I say. But he is a decent melee combat. So here we've got the dragons having a fight. We've got the Black Dragon and a Hellsteed versus the Lord. They was about to try and run away and they got dropped by a net again. And I think that's going to be the end of the Dreadlord Black Dragon. There we go. He falls to his death. And it looks like the Hellsteed is going to get away. Sorcerer on a Hellsteed. Still got a Blackguard of Nagron unit here in the rear of their formation with Hagenaf Executioners just tearing through the archer line. We've still got 5 minutes almost on this battle. If we look at the numbers now, so we're down to 715 for the allied troops and just under 1400 of enemy units. Granted, this is Skaven, so they will have a lot of Skaven Slave units. So we've got Skaven Slave Slingers. Looks like the Sorcerer Shadow did return and is trying to take out the Rune Lord. The Rune Lord's down to 140 health. They can take it down. It probably won't break the dwarves, as dwarves do have a really high leadership. But something's bugged here. It doesn't seem like it's attacking for some reason, so we're just following behind it. So as for the centre of the battle, it looks like the blue team have won the main engagement. All of the melee units have either routed back and they're reformed, or they've been killed. So we've got an Assassin and Lord Skrulk fighting off against a Thane. Always good to see. It looks like the Thane is moving back to the support of its men. See if it can draw the Assassin, but no, the Assassin does pull back. Lord Skrulk is routing. DracoKnights have pulled back. It looks like they're going after these Hagenaf Executioners, but he does have the Prince here still. And he's still got 3/4 of its health. So very, very dangerous Lord still on the map. I'm not sure how many breath spells it's got left. I'm pretty sure it's used all 3. But I may be wrong. They are going to try and take it out, but in reality they should just pulled this sorceress away, because now again she's been netted, and exactly the same thing that happened to the Lord. He's going to drop, and there we go. All flying units for the enemy are now gone and dead. And Harkanath Executioner has been caught with a net and then charged by DracoKnight. It just isn't great for them, and they've now routed. It looks like the catapults are back up. They were momentarily taken offline because there was Dragon Prince and Spearmen. But just the sheer number of Skaven back there, even though they are Skaven slaves, they will just outnumber and overpower units such as the Spearmen. It looks like we've got 2 units of Plague Claw Catapult left. And the Dwarf player needs to change his formation, in my opinion. Like, he's bunched them into like little boxes. I understand why, because when you've only got a few units, you sort of just drag them out real quick. And it looks like he's moving them into the forest. It's a very good idea to have, because it will stop the artillery. Unfortunately, dwarves are slow, so they're going to get hit quite hard again. See, just taking out more units there. I didn't realise the Major Light was on a horse, just noticed that. Cool. So the Skaven are moving up. Lord Skrulk is on the front line still. He needs to get back, really. They haven't got any way of healing Lord Skrulk at the moment. So they need to protect him. The only thing they have to worry about now is the morale. Remember, these are only Skaven slave spears, so you can see here the balance of power. Even though they outnumber the enemy by 2 to 1 almost, it is an army of slave armies. Just descending in the dragon will probably be enough to win this, in my opinion. You can see the blue team is forming up for the last attack. They're sending some sense bearers here, so just almost like a sacrificial unit, just try and slow them down. But okay, maybe not. Okay, it's a weird move by the Skaven unit army. Just sent them in and run them back again. Cool. So we've got the Lothern Seagull, sorry, the archers just shooting at the Skaven slave slingers. Look at that one volley, and it's routed. The organ gun is now back up and running, shooting over the heads, aiming for Lord Skrulk by the looks of it. Got the Skaven slaves shooting at the Swordmaster Hope, but these guys have the deflect shot ability, so archers aren't as effective against them, which is very cool. I think being able to deflect arrows and stuff with a giant greatsword, you know. Being very careful with the dragon. Looks like they're just chasing a unit of witch elves off. Must have returned, I didn't notice. So you see here 20 seconds left, and you can see the morale's going to start to drop. Just there we go. And a complete mass rout for the Skaven just by this one unit of Dragon Princes getting in behind. So a very well played battle for SugarDavie and DracoKnight there. It was interesting that both armies set up defensively. You don't really see a defensive Skaven army very often. But I think if they'd have bought more cavalry in terms of the High Elves, they may have won this one. Because obviously when you're facing against dwarves, you don't really have the cavalry option. So we go through the armies. Let's look for the MVP of battle. Looks like it's actually the Lord. So the Star Dragon clinches it with 6 more kills than the Swordmaster of Hoth. So congratulations to him. Go to DracoKnight as the dwarves. More of a spread out kills, as you would imagine in a dwarf army of similar units. The organ gun actually doing a lot more damage than doing a good enough damage to how much it costs, especially against Skaven. As for the Dark Elf unit, you see 149 kills for Harkanath. I said it at the beginning, they're such a good unit. They look great and they're just amazing. They are very expensive. I personally probably would have only bought 2 of these and maybe another Blackguard Nagrand or some more cavalry. And then as for the Skaven, I think the Plague Claw Catapult gets it here, 99 kills. Being very interesting bringing catapults against High Elves and Dwarves. Personally, I would have bought Warp Lightning Cannons and a Doom Wheel, like 1 or 2, because you're going to be guaranteed against a dragon if you're playing a Skaven. It's pretty much the best thing to do. But yeah, in hindsight, it's a great thing, isn't it? So yeah, I hope you like that, guys. I know the players enjoyed it. Again, I've been speaking to them over the last few days. They're really enjoying it and enjoying playing in the tournaments. So again, if you feel like you want to join the tournaments or even just want to watch the tournaments, keep an eye out for Viking Cat on his Twitch. All the links in the description below for him and the tournaments he runs and are all below. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Let me know in the comments. Bobcomss signing out.